Hi there, everyone. Thank you for joining me again for the recording of this week's blog. So the title of the blog this week is called Finding Our Way Back to the Temple of Our Soul's Light. So those of us on a spiritual journey of exploring the inner spaces and places within the Temple of Our Soul's Light know the transformative energy that resonates there. When we enter, we are leaving behind the illusions of the physical world and joining with the unseen but vibrantly real and pure energy of love, light, and truth. While there, we are lifted up to a state of bliss and all-encompassing peace. We can feel the celestial flame of transfiguration, removing all the dark and distorted deceptions that have inadvertently seeped into our consciousness from a world filled with fear and obsessed with mortal power. What is real is not of this world. We cannot find truth by wallowing in the egoic mind of collective consciousness. The only place where we find our truest self and that of the world is within that glorious, imperceptible, and unfathomable adoration, power, and love. Yet, the physical world is persuasive, confusing, and can be seductive. During times of great stress and fear, both personally and globally, we may suddenly realize that it's been many days, weeks, months, or even years since we've made the journey to that sacred place within us. Amnesia of sorts kind of clouds our mind and obscures our memories, and we start to believe that we're just fine without spending time there each day. We may tell ourselves that, we've spent enough time there in the past and have taken from that place all we need to live a life that is spiritually directed and virtuous. Those kind of ego-driven thoughts, they may work for a while until they don't. That familiar feeling of emptiness and loss creeps back in. We miss being in the intimate presence of the infinite light of our sublime Creator and our devoted team of light. Neither of them have abandoned us and has continued to try to reach us and invite us back to ourselves and to them. But we may just tell ourselves we're just a little too busy today. Maybe tomorrow. Yet tomorrow never seems to come. Maybe some of you reading or listening to this blog are feeling a bit forlorn, despondent, and perhaps even a bit hopeless from having detached a bit from your soul's light. I know this has happened to me a number of times. When I finally realize I need to return to my temple, I find it's not that easy to get back there. Let's do a short meditation that I wrote to kind of illustrate what I mean. And if you don't feel that you have the mind space right now to do this, you can always come back to it later. But if you do, find a place where you will be comfortable and undisturbed and just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, very slowly. Hold it. And then slowly release it. Take another deep breath. And again, hold it. And as you release it, just feel the light and peace grow within you. Now imagine ahead of you is a path that you're familiar with. You've been down this path many times. and you know that it leads to the inner temple of your soul. You begin walking and notice that it is very thick, with overgrown brush and fallen trees. The further you walk, the less familiar it seems. You know the side of the road leading to the temple should be close, but you can't seem to find it. You keep looking down different trails, but none of them seem right. So you think to yourself, why can't I find my way back? Has it disappeared in my absence? No, it has to be here. I can't live with my life without being able to spend time there. Finally, as you search down a very narrow pathway, you see a dim light far off in the distance. You decide this must be the one. So you walk slowly, picking up branches and climbing over fallen trees until you reach the end. There in front of you is a beautiful, ornate, and opulent temple made of crystals of all colors and sizes. Yet it's dark, except for a small light shining through a lovely crystal sconce on the outside of the temple. Fear begins to rise in you as you wonder if your team of light had waited too long and they decided that you would never return, so they left. You feel remorseful and sad. You fall to your knees and begin to weep, raising your head to the heavens and asking for forgiveness and pleading for a chance to begin anew. Then the flame in the sconce becomes suddenly brighter. The debris that had accumulated on and around your temple is dissipating. The crystals that make up the walls of the temple begin to glow with an iridescent, otherworldly light. Then slowly the door opens, revealing a beautiful angel who welcomes you back home. She escorts you into this sacred space and down a long hallway to a chamber made of rose quartz. Within that chamber, your guides and many other angels await your arrival. As you enter, you can feel the love and appreciation from each being who is there with you. You can hear soft, celestial music that seems to be coming from the very walls themselves. You begin to understand that there is and will never be any judgment for having been away so long. There has never been a punishment waiting for you for unconsciously or consciously turning your back on your spiritual team and the deep connection you had forged together. The only consequence is the perceived absence of the consistent ability and availability and love of your trusted spirit advisors and friends. One of your spirit guides greets you and reaches his energy outward to embrace you. One by one, each of the guides and angels sends you loving thoughts and appreciation that fill your energy and renew your spirit. They begin to offer you their guidance as you ask question after question about your life, your struggles, your confusion and pain, as well as the chaos and disorder in the world outside of this precious place. after a long time of sharing your thoughts and receiving their assistance, you realize you must return to your life in the physical world. You assure your team of light that you will return regularly, and they promise you they will never abandon you. You begin to weep again with sheer gratitude and joy as you turn and head back down the path that is now miraculously cleared of all debris and illumined with the infinite light of God's eternal love. You may now open your eyes slowly and return to the present moment. So the important thing to remember is we can never do anything that will cause our team of light to abandon us. The only thing that can separate us from our loving guidance is ourselves. God never turns his back on us. His arms are always open wide, ready to receive us. All we need to do is run into them and allow his love to transform and enlighten our lives. If meditating and going to your temple is not something you do regularly and you aren't sure how to begin, I recommend a guided visualization meditation like the one I wrote above. That can help you become accustomed to the feeling of being in a deep meditation. And eventually, you can get there all on your own. So let us complete this blog today with a short prayer. Dear God, may our sacred temple be always vibrantly illuminated and our visits there be infinite. May we live in peace, love, and light of the eternal truth of who we are. Glorious children of an everlasting universe and eternal souls of pure beauty and divine love. Okay, so that is the blog for today. I just wanted to add very quickly, because there's not much to add. I always seem to find something to say, though. It's hard to say goodbye. But anyway, I just want you to know that it's people think that spiritual teachers or people who talk about these things all the time are really good at staying right on purpose all the time. But that's not the truth. That's usually, there are some very, I don't know what you want to call them, but very advanced souls that may, but most of us have some ups and downs, and spirituality or a spiritual path is really not, just you start on and you keep going in one direction. There's some ups and downs, especially when we find ourselves very stressed. It's really hard to get still and silent and peaceful enough to silence the mind and go there to the temple of our soul. The mind just won't stop. And so it's okay. Anytime that you even attempt to be there is fruitful. You may not feel that it is at the time, but it is. Because it's bringing you back to your intentions. And that's really important. To intend to live a life of service and truth, goodness, kindness, compassion, all that. So just giving it a shot. Sometimes it works and you'll have a wonderful meditation. And sometimes it just doesn't. But consistency means everything. So just make it part of your daily routine and it will change your life, I promise. So thank you again, everybody, and enjoy your day. I appreciate you all so much. Namaste.